Operate a culture, if you had a true democracy, where every point of view were discussed, from religion, non-religion, atheist, agnostic. Until you have that, you don't have a free society. Whenever you have armies and navies, they're there to protect an established culture. In a sane society, or one where you have intelligent life, there are no police, no prisons, no armies, no navies.
Right.
They're unnecessary.
What about the
They consciously withhold efficiency. They'll change the height of the tail fins on a car every year, then add real safety devices to the car. In other words, the future will launch the best product we know how to turn out at this time, designed not to wear out, not to break down, not with planned obsolescence. See, in a monetary-based society, you plan to sell things. You can go to a hardware store and buy a chain socket that was designed 60 years ago, the same damn thing.
Right.
Why change it? So, in some instances, if you design things not to wear out and break down, that saves a hell of a lot of energy for the whole world.
Right.
So, you see, in today's society, we're inclined to be artificial, make false claims in politics, in the sale of goods, in the sale of services, many false claims. That's why there's fine print.
Right.
Now, why is there fine print? To attempt to conceal that which is not profitable. So I would say you live in a society based on profit and deception.
So you think profit and deception are intermingled?
To maintain scarcity and so that you have to buy a new washing machine, a new refrigerator, a new this, a new that, or change the hemline on skirts. High in the fall, lower, so you have to buy new garments, new clothing. Fortunately, most men in times past wore a suit, the same thing. But women were always in a state of change. Who does this? Why is that done? Why not design comfortable clothing that people wear all the time? Why do you have to change? When you get married, you got a tuxedo. When you get a divorce, no tuxedo. In other words, why don't you wear a tuxedo when you get a divorce? Because both people are happy to separate when they don't get along. In other words, the whole idea is ridiculous. If you examine this culture, I suggest that you don't, but look to the future. Because this culture is nothing but a system of fraudulent and erroneous decisions put together on a large scale. Of course it's better than things used to be. Not because we live in America, because of innovation and technology. So the whole thing became money-oriented system rather than ideas and making the world a better place. The world happened to be a better place due to invention, but they weren't made to make the world a better place. They were made for money.
True.
And so I think we were barking up the wrong tree. That's all. And I felt I never liked businessmen, stockbrokers. Well, I say I didn't like them because they thought in terms of how to make money, what to manipulate, what to do. Advertising was the same way. A sociologist couldn't get a job except teaching, and the pay was very low. So if the sociologist got a job in the advertising industry, what makes people want to buy this or that? You show a movie actress getting into a certain car. You know, you show a movie actress wearing the new T-shirt. Whatever the hell it is. They knew what it was that motivated people, so they sold out. Instead of being sociologists, they became manipulators. You know what I mean? And so, monetary system is so tempting. You know, lead me not into temptation.
Well,
the whole system is to lead people into temptation.
Well, that's the power of scarcity.
You got big tits? No. We make tits that stick up. And so they'll pump shit into you, make your tits stick up. They make your skin look smoother. Little alum in there shrinks the skin. So that night the guy will give you the wedding ring or the proposal. So people, it became such a synthetic society, you know.
Yeah.
People lost their hair and they found they couldn't date women, you know, and they became very concerned. I found since I lost my hair, I had more dates and more girlfriends than ever. It wasn't the hair, it's meeting the needs of the other person.
Don't take your hat off. Is a scientific approach.
Well, I use the word scientific only because that's the best tools we have as yet.
Right. And so,
Yes, it will. Also, when the scientific approach means in accordance with universal law. Now, universal law is fixed. The planets and all that are moving according to laws. They don't move. The Earth doesn't turn. It is turned. In other words, the moon doesn't travel around the Earth. The moon doesn't do the traveling around the Earth. The moon is propelled around the Earth by resident forces. You follow me? So once we are in tune with those forces and the realization of that, we become, crudely speaking, more realistic in our behavior, more relevant in our behavior to existence rather than improvised behavior, which they say, well, you get married, you have a ceremony, you wear a white thing. All of this is the artificialities. The artificialities of civilization are monumental. And that's what causes the major problems, the artificialities. The future would have no artificiality. They'd be phased out with the acquisition of knowledge. And so people are together because they want to be together. There's no marriage certificates. There's nothing like what you have today. This whole thing is a sham to the future civilization.
well, there's two things.
So you get mad not at the world, but what you have projected should be. Or a couple just get married and their car is hit by a Mack truck and explodes. He says, they just got married, like it's unfair. Whatever happens is real. If an earthquake kills 4,000 people, it's real. But if you design a city that can flex with an earthquake, that's a better chance of diminishing human problems. Do you follow me?